Hi guys, I want to talk to you about a project that Lily and Jonah and I have been working on for the holidays. We had some fun earlier this year in Mesquite collecting pine cones. Lily managed to collect several hundred of these. So we've used them on a few projects throughout the year, and I was trying to think of a way we could use them in our holiday decor. So you'll see them in my tablescapes and kind of tucked in a few decorations here and there in my bookcases, etc. But I really wanted to highlight these in a garland. And so I bought this twine. It's kind of a thick piece of twine. The concept is that we're going to do kind of a mishmash of items and tie them along the twine. We're going to put some eye hooks. We're going to drill some eye hooks into the pine cones. We're going to loop those using some leftover material from a rag wreath that we did that was holiday themed. And we've got some miscellaneous other things. I bought some stuff that goes with our decor, red and white. So we've got these, we've got some beads, we've got some leftover little small wooden beads, a lot of things in neutral colors and red and whites. So stay tuned and we will show you step by step how to create these fun garlands. Okay, I'm gonna start with the twine and I'm gonna make about 6 foot lengths. I'm not being all that precise, so I'm gonna do, it's about 2 feet each, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna start by making a loop at one end, and this will be so that I can hang it using command strips. I'll take a little bit of floral wire, just basic green floral wire, cut a small section of it, and all I'm gonna do is loop it and wrap and attach. And I'll do it quite a few times around just so that it's nice and stable, and that's gonna create one end of the garland. Then as we work through this, we get to the other end, we're gonna do the same thing, a loop and some floral wire. Hi, little bean. Okay. So then I'm gonna work through and just kind of start attaching things at about, I don't know, 2 inches apart. We'll start with something like a little decoration. These are just little felt Christmas ornaments, and again, they just match the color scheme that I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie one on. Just doing a little knot is all to tie that on. And then I will work in about 2-inch increments, attaching all the miscellaneous items that I have. I really like the thought of adding some ribbon. I've got 2 different selections of ribbon here. And about every second or third ornament, I'm gonna cut a slice and put that on. Oh, it's a zombie like the zombie game?
Yes.
Do you want to show them? Show them the zombies. Oh, pretty fab.
Scary.
Yeah. Okay, so for the ribbon sections, I am going to cut just about, I don't know, 6 inches. I'll cut them on a nice angle, and then I will tie these on. Again, about 2 inches from the last one that I put on. I'm gonna reach over. And these I'm not gonna tie in a knot. I am just going to tie them on in one separate segment. And just like any, you can move it a little bit, just like any bow or anything you do, you can take the ribbon and the wire and pull it so that the right part of the ribbon is showing for your piece. And again, I'm gonna do that about every 2 or 3 ornaments. Got some really fun beads that I'm gonna add. Okay, so I found these beads at a Restore, really cheap, some little wooden beads. I'm always on the lookout for things that I might use for craft projects. Bought these. They are not quite big enough to put on the twine. So I'm gonna use some red and white string to tie into the bead and then onto the twine. So again, just a little piece. Run it through the bead. I'm going to secure the bead on there with just, again, a knot. Super simple. I'm going to tie the bead so it doesn't move, and then I'm going to tie it onto the twine about 2 inches from the ribbon. Now I got one ornament, a piece of ribbon, 2 inches out. And I'm going to tie that on with a knot. I'm just going to continue doing this about 2 inches apart. I'm going to add the pine cones, and I'm actually going to show you how I drilled the pine cones and insert an eye hook into these so that they're really easy to attach as well. Got some cute, really cute ornaments we're going to attach to this. Oh, I also made some DIY pom-poms. Fun. They have little pom-pom makers, or you can just go old school, look up a YouTube video. Super easy to do out of yarn. But you can see that this just starts to build color and texture as you work down the garland. Okay, so we're going to attach a pom-pom now. I use floral wire. The way I did it, just cut a little bit longer piece than I'm gonna need. And I just run it down the middle of the pom-pom. I'm going to insert it where you tied off the pom-pom. Do you want to help me?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm done.
Lily Beans would like to help us.
So I'm done.
Okay.
I'm probably done.
You're probably done. Can you hold this for us right here?
Yes.
One hand here. One hand here. Okay. And one hand over there. That's perfect. All right. Now, we're going to take it and just twist the wire to attach it. Once I've twisted the wire and attached it, then I'll just use my wire cutters and cut off the excess wire. That's there. Now you can't see the wire, but we've got the pom-pom attached. So we've got three of the elements. We'll probably use a piece of ribbon next, and then we're probably due for a pine cone. So again, with the ribbon, I'm using, I don't know, probably between 5 and 6 inches, and I am not precise. I want this to look homemade. So I'm gonna cut a piece here, and then we're gonna tie it right here. Can you hold this again for me, little bean?
Yes.
Yes, good job, right there. And we're gonna tie it off. Can you come a little closer so they can see you in the camera? Oh yeah, there's a little bean. And she is my very best helper, right?
Yes. I'm done.
And she always tells me when it needs a little more, huh?
A little one.
So just like you, crafting with kids can be a total challenge. So we finished up yesterday, got distracted doing some other things, but this project did bleed into a second day. I told you that Lily gathered about 100 of these pine cones, probably plus 100, right? So I want to use these on the project. This one is going to require a drill. The best way I could think of attaching these was to use these eye hooks. So they are just little loops. You can find them in your hardware store, and they have a little screw on the side. The concept is that we're going to drill in a hole, screw these in, and then attach these using a thread to the twine. So let's get started. Used a very small bit, and I'm going to drill right next to the center to create just a starter hole. And I'm going to go really slow because with these really fine bits, they'll break if you put too much pressure. So I'm not going to push very hard. I'm just going to let the drill do the work to start a fine hole. Now I've got a hole started. I'm going to take one of the eye hooks. and put it in that starter hole. And then just screw, and these will go right in. It's a lot easier to do this way than to try to screw the eye hook right in. So pretty simple though. You can go and do all these at once. Once you've got it there, I'm actually using some leftovers from a rag wreath that I did for my front door. Had a bunch of pieces left. I'm gonna go ahead and tie these onto the tree. And I use some wire. I'm going to cut some floral wire. I'm going to use that to first attach the pine cone. And again, I'm going about, I don't know, 2 inches out on these. I'm going to go ahead and twist the wire to tighten it up. After I'm done tightening it up, I am going to cut the wire so it's not visible. And then I'm actually going to add the rag wreath more just for a decoration. You could leave it plain, but I want to add a little bit more color and variety there. So I've got one of my pieces, and I am just going to wrap it around. Now, if your twine is thin enough, you can just use the eye hook to go right onto the twine. My twine is fairly thick, so I'm just wrapping this around and tying it. And again, I'm just gonna go and add some of the decor and pieces here. I bought some little cranberry looking red and white things that go with the theme. I don't want to use a ton, so I'm actually gonna separate this off into 2 sections. And I'm going to attach that again about 2 inches off. I think I will probably use another piece of my ribbon here and attach it that way. I think that'll work just fine. I'm going to just tie it in a single loop and make sure that these actually have wire in them, so I'm going to bend the wire over the top so that it's secured, and then I'm going to tie for basically decor, very similar to the pine cone, around the beads. Again, I'm going to open the ribbon so that it shows the direction that I want to show. You just twist it and open it up a little bit, and now you've got that little piece. Okay, I think I want to add another piece of plain ribbon, and I'm just alternating the white and then the gingham print. So I'm just going to take this, cut another piece, again 4 or 5 inches, maybe 6, probably 5 to 6 inches is better. For the next spot. Again, 2 inches out from the last piece, and we'll just keep working like this. But I do have some fun pieces. I think these are great to add. Again, just spreading the ribbon right down at the ends to make sure that the ribbon shows the way you want. But I do have some fun decor pieces. I bought some of these. I bought some little deer, different items like this. These I'm going to use very sporadically, because they're pretty big and they're definitely your more pricey pieces. So I'm going to add maybe 2 of these elements per 6 to 8 inch strip. But I think this would be, we're getting a little ways in on this one. I think this would be a great place to add it. And I'm going to use the loops that come with those, but you can always add loops, you can always wire them, whatever you want to do to attach those. This one looks a little bit short. So I think I'm going to add some string to this one so that it looks like a tie. I have some red and white string. I'm going to cut a section of that. And again, I want a little bit of additional length here. So I'm just going to add this. I'm going to put it about 2 inches out from the ribbon and attach it. I'm going to leave it draping. So So I'm not going to pull it all the way up to the string. I want it to drape. Now he looks a little ski-wampus now, but when he's actually laying up against a wall or wherever you're going to hang this, it will straighten him out. So, and now we're just going to repeat. We're going to do some more pine cones, some more ornaments, some more ribbon. I've got some jingle bells. I've got a lot of fun little pieces that I'm just going to use. The good part is this is a great way to use some of your odds and ends that you have, and as long as you stay with the same kind of similar color scheme, nobody's going to go and inspect and say every third piece should be this, every fifth piece should be this. You can kind of mix it up. I'm going to give you a close-up of how I used some of the ones that I've completed. Okay, so this is a peek at the finished product. You can see I've done my stairwell and I've got my stockings hung. I used some ribbons at the edges. You can see my rag wreath in the background. But you can see as a close-up how the garland looks in a completed fashion. And it's fun. We carried it all the way up the stairs.